quite a while up on the rock.
This is truly the fantasy land most outdoorsmen only see in dreams. The landscapes taken out of a Tolkien tale will make you feel small at every step, and the raw elements will remind you how insignificant you truly are.
Right there. That hit that ridge right there.
Got a little hail.
Even though the surroundings are sure to take your breath away, each step ought to be taken with the utmost care. Always keep your gaze keen on the horizon, because no matter how vast, there is a good chance you are never alone.
Think we gotta give him a whoop and a holler? Let them know we're here.
Hey, bear!
Hey, bear!
In a lot of ways, this set of challenges, they may seem insurmountable for the adventurous angler, but there's a good reason fellowships continue to make the pilgrimage out to these wildlands. Thriving native fish still swim strong all throughout these emerald waters, and despite the growing list of obstacles brought on by modernity, relics of yesteryear can still be found at the top of these skeleton systems.
Incredible.
Yeah, it's a beauty. Wow.
Apex predators mixed with seasonal residents to give a fleeting glimpse of much wilder times in the not-so-distant past.
And I mean, these are the West Slope cutthroat we've been looking for. That's why we come to Central Idaho.
If you pack smart,
Cheers, sir.
and plan accordingly, you are sure to leave with a lifetime of memories. Folks, this is going to be 5 days fly fishing one of the most remote drainages in the lower 48. Welcome to Idaho. From east to west, I buckled down and made my way across the Gem State. This was set to be yet another major transition during this hectic fishing season on the road, and summer celebration banners in the trendy mountain towns greeted the truck until the winding road took a turn toward the gravel. The rhythmic pops opened up a vault of dusty memories, reminding me of the person I was not but 4 years prior. The familiar vistas were revealed the deeper into the wilderness I dove, and my cheeks, man, they tugged a youthful smile, and I hate for myself to be so dang cliche, but I couldn't help but think, wow, some things they just never change. But before I can get too ahead of myself, one thing that would be different this time around would be that I wouldn't be tackling this wild land alone.
Dude, and today's the 19th. Leave. Okay. And that's good enough.
There's no trash here. I can find it out. Yeah.
Ooh, there's the front.
Yeah, okay. That's enough. It's gotta go.
Yeah, that is one nasty front coming in there.
While the wind and rain rip through camp, I will take this opportunity to introduce my partner in this misery business. Folks, this is Sam. This fly fishing fiend for mass has been everywhere and back hunting for that bite, and even though the harbor state is a far cry from the show me, our paths managed to cross during my enchanted year in New Mexico. Our first meeting came in the form of a 3-round grappling match with the gorge, and since we had quite the grand time, we decided to run it back on more colorful soil. Sam had acquired a fair bit of local knowledge with his summer spent in the Forest Service, and it would be safe to say it paid off in a major way. Many a fine fish were caught, and dare I say we had a blast doing it. And in fact, because of that success, the seed of this current trip was planted in the waning twilight of a cold Colorado canyon. Sam's resume in backpacking and fly fishing was more than qualified, and really, all I had to say was bull trout, and this fishy friend was in for the long haul. With our parallel daydreams of late summer in the Idaho backcountry gnawing at our noggin, we started planning a dedicated backcountry bull trout mission right away. I would say that our first 2 trips, they went swimmingly, and now we were staring down the dagger of our 3rd official outing. They say 3rd time's a charm, but I suppose that is only up to the fish gods to decide.
This man's just snooping. He knows the deal. He says it's dinner time, huh?
Hey boys, what are you cooking?
Smells good.
I got nothing for you, you whistle pig. Get out of here.
While the rodent raider continued to pillage through Sam's gear, I figured I might as well go give the famous falls a gander, and as luck would have it, on my way over, I managed to spot a productive pika poking around a pile of boulders.
Oh, he's so cute. Look at you, dude.
The chill in the air told me that our warm days were starting to be numbered, and I could very much relate to our camp friend's sense of urgency. But with things winding down and a quick bit of dinner down the hatch, it was time to let the faint bark of the pika lull us into a front seat slumber. We had quite the busy morning ahead of us. Loose plans of pancakes were discussed the night before, and Camp Chef Sam graced the skillet with some of the finest blueberry flaps to this side of the salmon. With the finesse of the flip and the spacing of the berries, you could tell this was not his first rodeo.
That's expert mode.
Not normally how I would start these kind of adventures, but it might just become a very bad habit because these were nothing short of a treat. And with warm chow in the belly, this was the perfect fuel to stave off the chilly bite of a dark hike into the backcountry. As younger men, Sam and I had both spent a decent amount of time in this region, and funny enough, on this exact same river. So, as the dawn slowly revealed the surroundings, we were both a bit shocked by the alien landscape in front of us.
I think I'd go straight to hell because I'd get incinerated immediately.
I think I'd drop my backpack and run to the car.
Yeah.
Right.
And then realize my keys were in the bag. That would be terrible.
Just start running up the road.
Yep, it's like, well,
Wait for the firefighters to come.
knock on the the window, the people. It's like, hey, I like your F-150 rig. Can I just hang on to the side while you go up the mountain?
And truth be told, this was kind of an oversight on our part because checking for previous burns might have been worth a bit of prior research, and especially for this region, it's very prone to fires. But somewhere in the last 4 years, a once lush section of forest had turned into nothing more than a pile of matchsticks. The once fond memory of Narnia was now replaced with the ashen hellscape of Mordor, and walking through was still just as ominous as before, but with each dusty step, it felt slightly more sinister. This warped depiction of the area made old landmarks hard to recognize, but when we got to a particular turn in the trail, there was no mistaking. It made my bones shiver.
That's why, oh, Sam, that's why I remember this so specifically.
Yeah.
Yeah, this corner changed my life. For the better or the worse, depending on who you ask.
Probably the better.
In a flash, it all came back in a very vivid manner. 4 years ago, I was only slightly younger by age, but immeasurably dumber with regards to life experience, and this hallowed corner is the exact place where I was attacked by a bear and seemingly put face to face with my own mortality. Seconds and feet are the best way to measure this untimely interaction, and I could spin a long yarn about this entire experience and its lasting effects on this dumbass speaking to you today, but that's not why we're here. Just know that there ought to be a bear spray shaped tombstone next to the trail that reads, "Here lies the hubris of a young man."
We're gonna be back in the first week to spend a lot of time.
It's very, very strange.
Oh,
What's that?
Thimbleberry.
Is it edible?
Yep.
Oh, right. No, that's what I mean. Like they're very, very exclusive.
Yeah. We'll pay a lot of money.
That'd be sweet.
Cool.
Be very nice. I think it'd be good for everyone all around.
Starting to gain some distance further up the river, it seemed like we'd finally left the fresh burn and my eyes could grace some more familiar territory.
Actually, it's not good. It's the best.
Right.
We're looking at the best.
The best west slope river in the world, probably.
I think it's like rivaled with the St. Joe and maybe the Upper Clearwater, but that's about it.
Blue ribbon, whatever that means.
That means a whole lot in Missouri. Out here, everything's blue ribbon.
Yeah, this is bad.
Yeah, be careful here.
Do not want to be on a horse right now.
Yeah.
Really not being on my feet either.
Are you good?
Yeah. Got some trouble.
Yeah, me too.
With the pace we were running, it was safe to say that Sam and I were making great time, but with sweat starting to soak through our packs, It was time to drop the weight for a second and shift our layers around a bit.
Yeah.
And that's the problem. Those are the problems.
Their fear of humans is like nothing.
Yeah, they don't care. The other difference is like yours is a third of the price of mine. And you have that's the waterproofing on your camera.
What waterproofing?
With the backcountry leaning closer to fall, with each and every sunset, the late summer temps were much more forgiving to us backpacking folk. Strapping on 50 plus pounds and grinding out trail miles is never fun. But when you can cancel out some of the variables like warm temps or even something like rain, it can make things so much more manageable. And with the sight of our broken bridge, Sam and I both knew we should start looking for a suitable campsite soon.
Yeah, this is nice. Flat.
It's a little strange looking.
Oh, come on.
I think maybe I might go to. Oh, cool.
We'll pack that
I
out.
needed another water bottle. I was thinking maybe like this edge here.
Here.
That's the best.
Well, sir, step one. Tally ho.
Oh, I can't wait to take this off. In like 5 seconds.
It's gonna be nice. It's gonna be the best.
5, 4.
Woo! Yes.
Just a little sweaty. Not so bad. Do it.
Expectations, maybe. Another word.
You know, this is where I camp, actually.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Oh,
In
God.
a circle.
You're like an elephant. You're like, come back to this watering hole.
I have a lot of friends that are going to stick with it, but maybe I'll come back someday. It's not like I'm closing the door forever.
Yeah, you can always do that.
I just need a break.
And that's the thing, is like whatever works best for you is what works best.
Yeah.
So that's why you're not hearing too much balking from me. And also, you're the guy that does this more than me. So I'm like, yeah, I trust him. Yeah, I trust him.
Once camp was in order, I got to rigging up the rods for our mid-morning session on the river, and while I tackled that, Sam got to wrestling with the bear bag.
No.
In the wake of an old burn and compromised trees, this proved to be quite the difficult task.
If it doesn't break, this time it will break at some point.
Yeah. Yeah.
Damn.
There it is.
So, when in doubt, we decided it would just be easier to cliff it out.
It'd be a little harder to get off,
Do you want to just anchor it to this stump right here?
but yeah, that's what I was going to do. Okay.
Still high enough to keep away from the bears, but easy enough for us to grab for mornings and evenings. But with that finally out of the way, months of planning were about to be put to the test. It was truly game time.
Get my rods, of course. All right, man. Let the cards fall where they may. Let's do this.
I know I've harped on this issue many times before, but I do this for a reason. When looking to do real backcountry fly fishing, it is paramount to be in peak physical shape. Of course, this is gonna look different for every person out there, but this sort of activity is a meat grinder type marathon, day in and day out. We were granted a brief reprieve from the trail while setting up camp, but we had to turn right around and burn boot leather yet again to access the river. This type of fishing will no doubt test your endurance at every single phase, but with beautiful views filling the eyes and anxious conversations filling the air, we made our way creekside in no time flat.
Well, and worst case, we can always put the skins on.
Yeah. So would you catch fish in like these back?
I'm sure.
Eddies?
I bet you like a one or two good casts up in like the soft shit.
Yeah.
Oh wow, you're fresh. That's the size caliber we're working with.
Yeah.
Big bugs.
Good salmon fly hatch up here.
Okay, can I change? It would be a herpetology / entomology page. Can I go with that?
That's good. Just ologies. But not all. I forgot how fast these are when they're new.
Yeah, they're so nice. This one is starting to get a little bit filtered through with how much we've used it. And it's starting to get hard. I find that warmer water filters through better. I don't know if that means anything.
I wonder.
But when I put in like hot water, it zips through.
Oh yeah, this is slippery as shit.
Yeah, but we'll have to be
The
careful.
rocks.
It was clear that there was no end of fish food in the area, and just based on my prior knowledge of this watershed, I was more than confident that Sam wouldn't be holding on to that skunk for long.
Hey, there it is. I mean, that's kind of what we're looking for.
That was pretty easy too.
That was kind of quick, huh?
that was a fish.
Good? Did it look good?
Yeah, about the same, I think.
Yeah. Yes, Sam. Yes, that's what I'm talking about.
That was the fish.
That was him.
Oh,
No!
you pinched the barb too well.
I did. I'm sorry. Fine. You pinched the barb too good. Oh man, the cadence of Cuddies is so different. He just slow slurped that man. Oh jeez, come on. Come on. Oh, that was so cool. Dude, that was so insane. The mend into the hook set is always the coolest.
Yeah. Not familiar with his net.
Hold him there. Okay, that's perfect. I'm zooming in. He's got some beautiful par marks on him. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Little kiss of the wind.
Yeah.
Saying, yeah, we're going for the yard. Throw the Hail Mary, baby.
Yeah, it's tough not to. I'll probably follow the tracks. It's a good one. Better.
That's a good one. That's what we want. Use that reach, baby. Yes. Quick. Oh, there he goes.
Okay.
Sorry. Good stuff, man. That's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, if that's typical, then I'm
It's
good.
about typical.
I'm good.
It's about typical.
I'm good with that.
Oh shit.
Yeah, he was right in that soft water right there. The close soft water.
The one that we ran over a couple times.
Yeah, maybe like 5 feet above this gray rock.
Okay.
Came up 4 times.
Gotta love a Cuddy. Well, guys, darn it, we're gonna catch him on the chubbies.
Oh man, I love like having space to cast.
In infinite space to just rip.
Oh, I'm ripping them.
It's the best. It's a good feeling.
Yeah.
This is fly fishing, baby.
Little guy.
That's a steelhead smolt right there.
Yeah, this is a rainbow. Sorry, little guy. Do this one quickly. Precious.
See you, buddy. Thank you.
Silver jewels. That looked like a beautiful little rainbow, but this river actually connects to the ocean, even though we're 1,000 miles away.
We're a long way away.
We're a long way away. So those are precious little fish. There's not that many summer steelhead left in this river, so we want to make sure we get those back as soon as we can. Oh, I'm done.
Giving up?
I think it's time to go home.
All right. Well, we had a good run, I think.
Yeah.
This was fun. You know, the bull trout, we can just tell they just weren't here.
Yeah, I mean, we looked.
The cutthroat, same thing. They were supposed to be here, not here.
Yeah.
All the reports lied straight to our faces.
Girl at the fly shop lied.
I swear, you better not say that again. Do not put that evil on my sweetheart.
With more than a few empty passes without a single bite, we could tell our chubby, it might be played out. The cuts, they'd caught onto our shenanigans, and it was high time we swing the streamer rod through.
Something was following that.
Yeah?
That might have been a cutty, but something followed it.
I saw you react.
Now, like I had mentioned earlier, the main goal of this trip was to chase bull trout with big streamers, and we both figured this would take some time to get dialed in, just like any other kind of fishing. So, with it being so early, Sam and I were both more than happy to bother the local cutthroat with our generous chubby offerings. And even though we weren't finding fish in every single hole, the group morale was still sky high, and we were just genuinely enjoying the day.
I'm not seeing much good water up above this stuff.
Okay.
So
Well, maybe we double back.
Yeah. Might want to go up.
Oh! Maybe not. Might be able to get him.
Yeah.
That was pretty sick.
A nice,
Splashy take.
yeah, fully out of the water.
Yeah. Wet ass. But I feel like I'm almost settling because I'm like, oh, there's so much good water. Why? It's like it's all right, but it's like not deep. Like I can see that it's not deep.
Well, in your head, are we trying to work back to camp today, or you want to go past camp?
I think at this rate we might work past it.
Yeah. So that's why I'm thinking we might as well.
Give it a rip.
We took a turn off the trail and hiked down to the mouth of a large feeder stream, and I was finally able to connect with my first fish of the day. The chubby, it had finally done its job and tricked an absolutely beautiful West Slope specimen. Their colors above the water, no doubt they were majestic, but under the water, you can get a better understanding of their actual function. I imagine it must be quite difficult for any aerial predators to track down these fish, especially with that green back. I mean, it just blends so well to the riverbed. Bouncing up to the next pool, it didn't take long for Sam to connect with another gorgeous cutty as well.
So gorgeous. He had some attitude there, man. Good stuff. Are you on? What is it? What is it? Holy shit. Oh, that's a bull trout. That's a bull trout, dude.
And this, ladies and gents, is why we made the considerable effort to pack all the way into this remote land. A relic of the past still clawing out in existence in one of the last freestone strongholds the West has to offer. Bull trout are truly one of my all-time favorite fish species, and I am honored to be streamside for Sam's very first. As that fish slithered back into the depths it calls home, I made a note that this pool did in fact contain our quarry. Excited to spread the love, Sam offered me the streamer rod, and I had similar results, just different species is all.
It's a cutty. That is hilarious. Big meat muncher right there. Ooh.
Swinging streamers also proved to be quite effective for overzealous cutties looking for a monster-sized meal. So after that little fella swam back, we decided to keep leapfrogging upstream. And once we got out of the canyon and onto the trail again, we both realized that our once sunny day had been replaced with a thick cover of clouds. And in the moment, it didn't really stop our progress because the cutties, they were still rising, and the prospect of big bull trout still weighed heavy on our minds. In other words, we were extremely distracted and should have given the horizon a bit more contemplation.
There we go.
It's a nice fish.
Yeah, it's a good fish. That's probably comparable to your first one of the day. I should be able to get this one. Yeah, that looks not fun.
Yeah, there's nothing that I'm like.
No. It's just like, all right, cover it up, find a tree.
Starting to get there.
Yeah. That's all we're gonna do. Yeah.
I'm not gonna take this off until I lose it.
Yep.
Or maybe I'll put a little streamer on or something.
Well, I've had to cover you guys up. We're getting a little afternoon rainstorm, pretty typical for the mountains here. So yeah, rain covered up. I might have you on the GoPro, but we're gonna run the big streamer through this deep hole. Fingers crossed we can find a big old bull trout.
Now, a big old sloppy bull trout was at the top of our list. That's what we were hoping for, but after watching a suspiciously pink and silver submarine porpoise out of the water and fling my whiffed hook set to the side, I was very convinced I had just hooked and lost a summer steelhead. I sure wish I had strip set just a tad harder on that one, and after that miss and another miss after that, I could feel my heart getting heavy and threatening to sink to the bottom of the river with no hope of ever returning again. It might be obvious, folks, but can you tell I don't streamer fish much? As much as it sucks, that's kind of the point of getting out of your comfort zone, and with each miss and every cast, I was getting a better feel for the depth and the subtle tug of that swing. And getting back into the rhythm of it all, it didn't take much longer for that strip set to connect with our desired quarry and for patience to pay off.
That's a bull trout, baby! Woo!
This was by no means the biggest bull trout in the world, but it was a bull trout nonetheless. We got a couple quick shots and got him right back in the water, and now with 2 bulls in the basket, it might be worth explaining what we were throwing.
Wet cats, man. Wet cats. That's what they want.
Targeting bull trout in Idaho can be a tough prospect sometimes with how deep and fast the water they inhabit tends to be. There are a lot of different regulations depending on the watershed you're fishing, so we found for this particular drainage that weighted streamers were our best friend during this entire trip. Well, hopefully that means if you're seeing this, then Sam or I have caught a big old bull trout, or a small one, on this fly or something similar to it. Now, in these western watersheds, I've seen a lot of whitefish in the past and in my trip here recently. And so that's what this is supposed to represent. This particular pattern has no name. It is purely an accumulation of various materials and tying strategies that I like to implement into my streamers. So as I learned over time, this is just kind of what I like. It gives a good profile, it's buggy, and it pushes water. It's got a lot of weight to it, so it really gets down. And you know, that double jointed look, it's cash. So if you're looking to get into tying streamers, I'll put the recipe down here if you really want it. I'm just gonna speed through it real quick while I'm talking. But here's the thing, streamers are super fun and it's very satisfying to get big fish on a big bug that you tied yourself. Super satisfying. And there's a lot of, I would say, good practices with streamers because you're using big hooks, so you kind of can make mistakes and make various, let's just say, cleanup work a lot easier than smaller bugs, especially like small nymphs or small dries. But they're expensive. If you can see this fly here, there are so many different materials, and then a lot of the materials are just bigger, so they are more expensive. So if you're kind of new to this whole game and looking to get into it, it's a lot of fun. And yeah, there was a time back in high school where I was a certified streamer junkie. The various subcultures of fly fishing are always funny. The dry fly purist, the Euro nympher, and the streamer bro. But yeah, they're fun to throw, really fun to tie. Put on a podcast, put on a good EDM mix, and just, yeah, dream of all the big fish you might catch. But yep, with that being said, Future Mike and Future Sam, back to you guys. After that bowl, I was flying high, and marking down yet another confirmed run, I figured I deserved a little treat. The day's hunger pangs had now more than caught up to me, so it was time to find some lunch.
I would entice them on the swing.
Oh God.
And they'd be in the whites or the lighter stuff.
Gotcha.
But I mean, I really let it sink. So cast, mend it now, mend it. Okay, follow it with your rod. Start to strip until you get that tension. Once you have the tension, little strips, little teeny tiny strips, slow.
With a desperate need to wash down my sugary Cliff Bar, I went down to the river to fill up my water, but instead, a simple misstep led to me doing a full faceplant into this frigid river. You can probably hear it.
Okay, yeah. Oh.
That's a legit fall.
Oh, I don't know how that happened.
Good? I know how it happened.
I guess I sure did do a number on my knuckle.
Yeah. Oh man.
I suppose the silver lining in all this is that I was so teeth-chattering cold I couldn't really feel the full effects of this neck-deep fall. Well, yet. And I suppose the expression is around for a reason, because truly, when it rains, it pours. And looking up, I knew I wasn't going to have much time to fix up my finger, because the heavens were rather upset and just about to drop an Acme anvil right on our heads.
Alright, I'm done. The sky's pretty fucked right there. That hit that ridge right there.
Should I be carrying this metal camera
I mean,
thing?
I think you're fine.
Tripod?
Yeah, I think we should go though.
Yeah, we definitely need to go.
Carrying the fly rods probably ain't great either. That was a legit. I saw that.
Yeah, that was a big boo. Big boom.
It was about 2 seconds, so half a mile. And that makes sense with where I saw it. Alrighty. Now I'm a little uncomfortable, so.
Yeah. Welcome to the West, baby. This is what you can expect. Oh, I got a little hail. Jeez Louise.
Taking a plunge into the river had already zapped about half my heat from my body in an instant. This might have been 15 minutes before the front hit, so adding in the screaming winds, carrying sharp hail and bitter rain, this walk was nothing short of excruciating. As the blood exited my extremities with each step, I knew I was in the middle of a very dangerous dance. Phantom toes and frozen feet merged into two uncomfortable stumps that would shoot pain up my leg every slogging step. Pale fingers, they gripped my camera gear with the same unbending stubbornness of rigor mortis. Rain blurred my vision of the valley ahead, while the prospect of panic welled up in my chest, threatening to cloud my thoughts. With a few miserable miles between us and a dry tent, there's nothing you can do in this situation besides grit your teeth and muscle through the pain.
See you in an hour. Maybe. Well, if you can hear that, yeah. A big ass storm just ran us off the mountain. We did not even see it coming. It came so fast, and yeah, Sam's in his tent, I'm in mine, and we're hunkering down, trying to warm up a bit. It came quick, hail, rain, all that sorts, so we're a little chilly right now. Not hypothermic, but probably close. So, time to hunker, let the rain subdue, and maybe we can get back out on the water this evening, hopefully.
With sopping wet clothes discarded in the corner, I bundled up and let the pitter-patter lullaby send me into a deep sleep. Waking up without violent shivers was a very nice surprise, but usually, when nature gives, she also takes. Making my way down to the river to grab some water for dinner, I was met with a chocolate milk mess that made me do a double take. From one of the clearest rivers in the lower 48 to a Nesquik nightmare in a matter of hours, this was so bad.
I'm debating just eating a bunch of snacks or cooking. I just don't want to get caught out in the middle again. Yours is easier to deal with.
A little bit. Not as much time out in the elements.
Get up anyway.
Might as well take advantage of a little bit of free moon.
Stretch the legs anyway.
Yeah, we might be back in the old tent city for a little while.
I can't tell you why, but it always seems to go this way. As soon as we started getting dinner pulled together, the rain returned.
I think our break might be over. Well, I had just enough time to get some water, get some food, and yeah, the rain is back. Sam and I are both back in our tents and hunkered down, man. This is not exactly the best start to day one, but you know, when you're in the Mountain West like this, that's the kind of cost of doing business, unfortunately. So I'm gonna munch down on my breakfast sausage skillet. That ought to be good, and yeah, do a rain dance, hope it goes away.
Lucky for us, we had just enough time to fill our bellies before the rain subsided. This storm didn't seem to have the stamina of its big brother from earlier, so after being under the thumb of inclement weather for most of the evening, we took advantage of the sunset to sit out and stretch our legs. We also begrudgingly made our way to the cliff to look down at our muddy mess of a river down below. This was going to be a massive monkey wrench in our trip, but all we could do is sleep it off and hope for the best in the morning.
Man, 2 days would have been a luxury.
We couldn't even get one day.
What did we get, like 4 hours? 4 good hours?
Yeah, maybe 5.
We did a lot of hiking today.
Yeah.
We did a lot of fucking hiking.
Go back tomorrow.
What do you think we did, like 10?
Probably. Maybe like 9, 8.
I mean, luckily it's a casual 10. Or
Yeah.
if it is a 10, it's a casual 10.
Oh yeah. 5 real ones and then
Yeah,
5
with the
much-
pack on by the river flows.
Yeah.
Because, yeah, we probably did about 2 miles back to that original spot and then another 2.
Yeah. I'm guessing we had to hike about half a mile in the rain.
Yeah, that was dumb.
We did walk through the worst of it, so
Yeah,
as
how,
you said.
dude, literally, that's how it was. It's like, this is the worst. Like, as we're getting hailed on, it's like, this really sucks.
Yeah.
But it's only gonna get better.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, you know, it is what it is.
We live to dry another day.
Yeah.
Lactic acid buildup plagued every fiber of muscle as I sat in the stillness of morning. Creaking tendons and audible pops echoed through my tent as I shuffled around to get ready for the day. Commiserating with the Tin Man from Oz, I could have definitely used a dose of Dorothy in my life.
Whoa. Good morning, sir. It's a little foggy here, bud. Yeah, dude. Shit's crazy.
This ominous fog clung tight to the barely visible ridges in our Ashen Valley. As I walked up to the cliff to get a look at the river and grab our food bags, I was fully prepared to see the water in utter disrepair. Shocked and convinced my eyes were playing tricks, I tried to rub out the sight of visible river rocks, to no avail.
Good word.
Well, I don't know if you'll believe me, but I can see river rocks.
Really?
It looks great.
Looks good?
Dude, I mean, I don't know exactly how good it looks, but it's clear.
Better?
It's low and it's clear.
Sweet. I do gotta go pee, so I might as
Yeah,
well
give
go
it a
look.
gander.
Sam went over and confirmed that things didn't look nearly as bad as we had expected. It was time to give today's fishing mission the green light and get geared up for whatever it might have in store for us.
Yeah, camp activities include farting. Talking about Dan Carlin.
bring any activities.
Dumb jokes. Those are the morning activities.
It's supposed to be fishing, so we didn't bring anything else. Sometimes I bring a frisbee.
That's not bad.
Yeah.
Acting like a lit room in a dark house, the glow of the morning sun was visible behind the unmoving wall of fog. It was standing strong for the moment, which made morning chores cold and damp. After the wet socks were wrung and the rods were re-rigged, we both hoped that this would reach its shelf life soon as we walked into the unknown. And I must say, I find it so interesting how such a small change in scenery can make a seemingly familiar place feel so foreign. With each step down the soggy trail, I could feel the goosebumps creeping, and not due to the cold. Much like darkness, something like a thick fog makes uncertainty levels spike when your view is obstructed. Even though my preferences lean more towards solo on adventures like this, I was extremely grateful to have Sam with me on this strange morning. Anxious conversations helped cut through the thick fog as we angled down towards the river.
Yeah.
Very much down.
Well, those hatches we were seeing on the river, I think, were very recent.
Yeah.
Because even on the east side of Idaho, not but last week, I was seeing them. Woo! Think that one? Is it that one, the loose one?
Yeah, but now it's not.
You rode it?
I did that yesterday. Yeah, I must be getting a lot of bottom.
Hey,
Oh,
that's something.
yeah.
That is actually something.
We'll steal that, I think.
That's awesome.
All right.
Says I want the egg.
No skunk.
No skunk today, huh?
Ah.
Oh, that's cute. Nice, dude. Very nice.
Honestly, though, it's a fish. So
That's not to say I'm surprised, but I'm very enthused. That's awesome.
After picking up his first fish of the day, Sam was fairly satisfied with fishing out this run, but advised me to swing the streamer rod through before we kept pushing. A couple empty passes had me feeling uneasy, but eventually a couple ticks led to a hookup. It was nice to know that the fish hadn't completely shut down from this muddy water, and the skunk was off for the both of us.
Ooh, that's fish.
Oh, yeah.
That's a little cutting.
All right.
Yeah, that's not bad. I'll take that for a day like today. Sweet, man. Well, that's one fish more than we thought, so that's good at least.
Oh yeah.
Now, was that streamer almost as big as this fish? Yeah. And were there only 2 fish in this entire run? Well, no, of course not. But after pounding it hard, we both agreed that a change of scenery might be worth it. If not for the fishing, it would at least help with our sanity. We were in for a long day, and since the storm that had caused this entire mess struck its first blow here, everything upstream would be new water. And between Sam and I, we both agreed that this stretch, it looked mighty fishy, but looks can always be deceiving. The deep pools and massive log jams seemed inviting, but it took us a bit of hiking before we were able to find some more fish.
So deep.
It's a pretty deep drop off.
Like right in front of me there is. Yeah.
Fish on, fish on. That's definitely something.
Oh, it's like that pink belly strip really fooled me. It's a beautiful one.
Streamer rod in hand, I trudged to the top of this run, and this is where my heart may have found its final resting place for this entire trip. You might not be able to tell from the brief, exasperated gestures and the muted curses, but I just saw the bull trout of the trip. It gave pursuit, swiped, and somehow in this interaction, a hook, it just never connected. Water distortion, it's always tricky, and every recounted fish story adds an inch or two to the tale, but I have no doubt that this fish was well over upper teens and maybe into the 20s as well. Of course, this was a one and done kind of deal, so all I could do was mark the waypoint down and try my best to pick up the pieces of my broken heart. It was a few casts later where I started to recognize a certain theme in this trip. Step 1 seemed to be miss a big fish, and then proceed immediately into step 2, catch a dramatically smaller fish.
Well, not exactly what we're after, but I will take that. Beautiful, beautiful fish. Holy cow. I believe that is a steelhead smolt. Right under this rock. That, I had a bull trout about that.
Really?
He did, I had him bite twice. The first time he came up and kind of looked at it, 180'd it as I pulled it out of the water. And then the second time, he chased it for a twitch. And I fucking pulled it.
Alright, well it gives me hope that we're not like, you know.
We're not totally
Yeah. Like, it might be hard, but we can grind and get it done.
Well, so far
It's a pretty rainbow.
Oh my gosh, it's beautiful. Well, actually,
Yeah, that's beauty.
yeah, it is really cool.
Not to say I wasn't smitten with this smolt, but man, after getting a brief glimpse of the bull trout we had been searching for, it just hurt to know that he probably was going to be shutting down for a while. So again, we shuffled our way out of the canyon and pushed upstream, doing our best to maintain a hurried pace. With the water being so trashed, we made sure to only stop at what we considered to be the best looking runs. Selective fishing aside, it still took quite a bit of time to fish each of these runs, so time was not on our side and the sun had burned off our morning quick. Our sense of urgency led us around the next bend, which had a pool that was well worth a cast or two.
Do you wanna bring a net or
Oh yeah.
the net?
Probably not a bad idea.
Yeah,
Just in case. It's probably gonna take you a while to get up there.
might be.
It was a solid idea to toss Sam the net because he managed to hit the top of this pool and finally strip set into our first bull trout of the day.
Mike!
Are you on?
Well, people, I think.
Man, great looking fish, man.
It's so healthy.
Yeah, they are looking good, aren't they?
Yeah.
After that beautiful bull swam back, it was time to rinse and repeat. I dropped a pin and switched up streamers to fish out the rest of this run. A small smolt was all I could muster, but once it flopped back, we both set our sights back towards the trail and, this time, in the direction of camp. The mild mid-morning had given way to a warm afternoon that was starting to be downright hot. The wild temperature swings are tough to manage at times, especially in a massive burn where you are always exposed to the elements. Wind, rain, sun, you get it all. But getting back to camp and dropping some of our heavier layers would be paramount to help lighten the load for our upcoming afternoon session. And as nice as it was to slow down for just a second, there was no rest for the wicked, so once we dropped our gear, we turned back towards the trail and back down to the river.
All right, I'll holler, but I'll probably have things mostly taken care of.
Yeah,
It's nice having friends, though. Oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. Oh no! Dude, that was a monster cutty. God, Sam, I'm a failure.
I am not kidding when I say that cutty was big. It would have easily broken that 16-inch mark if I could have just strip set a little bit better, but outside of that first miss, I managed to find quite a few fish out of the top of this run. This was somewhat surprising behavior, especially for the afternoon, because I was watching fish target, chase, and then crush my streamer as it would lazily swing across the run. They showed no hesitation and just locked in like a heat-seeking missile. And it wasn't just the big fish either. The smaller class fish were just as interested in my big wet cat swinging across their face.
Oh, you are fat as heck, man. I've had like back and forth in rainbows and cutties. Yeah, little guys, but still fun. I'm probably on like my fourth right now. But they're just crushing this thing. It's like cast it in there, try and let it sit 1, 2, 3, 4 maybe, and then just start slow stripping. But something tells me there's no bull trout in here if they're all these little guys.
After so many falls at the top of the run, it was only natural that the bite would slow down. So it was time to grab the bags and follow Sam downstream.
Wait, you had one? Big? You said big? Small? Oh.
Once I got my feet in the water, it wasn't but a few swings later I connected with another stellar cutthroat. And just because the big cam was so far away, I could only get a decent look with the GoPro. And even though this isn't the best look, it is clear to see that this was one of the better fish on the day. After seeing it swim back, the bite slowed down again, and we had clearly exhausted this run.
That dramatically ups the fish total for the day.
Oh yeah, no, that helps. And that, God, if I could have just kept that big one pinned, that would have been nice.
Clearly, Sam and I are not expert anglers, but we do our best. With all these new variables thrown at us in a somewhat unfamiliar watershed, we were doing our best to not only find the pieces to this puzzle, but then also find how and where they fit into the overall picture. Oh, and all this has to be done in a relatively narrow time window. This definitely plays into our angling notion to consistently move and try new things. You know, sometimes you throw streamers, sometimes you throw dries. Sometimes you stick close to camp, and other times you decide to hike all the way up into Hell's Half Acre in the hopes of getting above whatever assumed mudslide that had destroyed the river in the hopes of finally getting on some fish. So folks, hopefully you can glean something from our mistakes. Now I will say, a few miles up the trail we did find a mudslide that looked to be quite fresh and quite disturbed, but clearly this was not big enough to be the root of our problem. It more than likely just assisted in the current dumpster fire we were dancing around. But just around the bend from this nasty slide was yet another foreign sight to our ashen eyes. This lush foliage marked where some of the older burns had stopped, and as we made our way down to the river, we were graced with green trees and thick underbrush.
No, I think it's one up.
That's
Yeah, that's a big drop.
inconvenient, huh?
Do you want to ride this line? Ooh, we can't really ride this line, huh?
I think we can get down over here.
Yeah, it's stuck. This is amazing. This is unbelievable. Oh my gosh.
Finally feeling like we were in the Mountain West rather than the outskirts of Mordor, we received a short boost in morale, thinking our risky decision was going to pay off. Feeling good about these prospective runs ahead, we buckled down and fished them extremely hard. We quartered down, counted, changed up strips, changed up flies, and without so much as a bite at our first few runs, we were again deflated with nothing to show but tired legs.
And this may sound dumb, but do you think going upstream means there's less bulls?
I mean, there's less everything here.
Yeah.
I have no theories, so.
Ah, this beach is nice.
Putting a nymph on, you can't stop me.
I wouldn't if you
Can't stop.
asked me to. Yeah, I don't know. I like this water better.
Yeah.
But it just looks like there's nothing in here. Could this be the weird in-betweener spot where all the migrations are just kind of not there yet?
We had our fair share of hunches as to what the problem might be, but with berries surrounding our beach and our first confirmed bear tracks, we didn't stick around long to talk it over. The hike had eaten away most of our afternoon, and we were again under the mercy of time. Between that and this nagging feeling that we couldn't buy a bite at this point, we hesitantly moved upstream to the next run.
This looks too good.
Yeah.
Woo, bad rock.
Yep, that's the one.
Found it. Hey, is that the rock you were talking about?
You found the sweet spot.
Eat it.
Yes! Yes!
I think it's my cheering. I think that's what it was.
That was the most pumped I've ever seen somebody for a 12-inch cutthroat. and I
Yo,
don't blame
that's a bull trout.
Oh shit!
That's a bull trout on a dry fly. Dude,
All right.
that is awesome. So he must just be like right at the stage.
This fish is amazing. You get some cool markings on it. These bull trout are just so freaking beautiful.
They're so pretty.
I love it.
That'll work. Woo! Yes! Woo!
It's good to break the skunk. I've literally caught more bull trout today than anything else.
That's
No,
sick and twisted.
It's two bull trout, two bull trout, one steelhead,
One cutty,
two cutties.
two cutties. It's the evening bite.
Yeah.
He says, yeah, let me try, I guess. Wham! Bull trout on the dry fly.
That's it. That's all.
No.
He was like right there. That was crazy. Yeah. Oh, rainbow. Nice, man. Just like that.
Yeah. Things turn around fast, huh?
They do.
These rainbows are so pretty.
They're very, very pretty. Wild rainbows, man. I got a certain spot in my heart for them. They're nice. That's fish on.
That was my best cast I've ever made in my life.
Nice. Very good. Okay. Do you want to hold them up to the GoPro real quick? So we can probably see that slash. Yeah, perfect. What an absolute gem. Hell yeah, dude. That's gotta feel great.
Feeling better. Definitely feeling better.
Oh yeah, the fish guys go, all you do is ask.
Yeah.
Just ask one fish, all right.
It's so funny how one run like this can make you feel so much better about making a very dumb decision to hike as far as we did. Feeling like there was nothing left but weird logs and osprey to look at up here, we turned tail and hit the trail. Frustrated as we might have been in the moment, this day had ended up being so much better than we could have ever hoped for. Earlier this morning, we were both fully convinced the muddy water would have forced us to completely hike out of this valley and seek greener pastures. Throughout the day, we could tell the water levels were dropping and the overall clarity was shifting toward the river we found when we showed up. Even though the situation was only getting marginally better, it was still better than nothing.
Yeah, this is probably helping, but this ain't her.
Probably part of it. And like I saw so many rising, I just couldn't figure it out.
Yeah, that is super hazy still. What the hell?
This is smoke.
Yeah.
It's gotten worse too.
Yeah, it has.
Wake up is just like smoky.
Maybe even a better reason to skedaddle. Doing the whole surfing thing.
Like, hey, this one's bad. Which one? The gray one.
I think I found it.
Sam and I got back to camp. There was still this nagging question that we just couldn't shake. The question of what if. Because we were grinding very hard for what little fish we found. And that's at least relative to the numbers this river should be producing. And I hate to sound like a spoiled brat. I mean, the fish we were getting, they were great by all metrics. But imagining what this could have been given normal conditions, it made our heads hurt and our hearts ache. The band-aid of warm beer and overeating was just enough to make it through the waning twilight.
Cheers, sir.
Cheers.
Is it too warm?
No, it's good though. It's fine.
Just warm enough.
Yeah. It's the right temperature for today.
Good stuff. Hazy.
Loose ideas for our next day were discussed over dinner, but as soon as the darkness crept in, we were both too tired to even think. It was time to hit the hay and hope for the best tomorrow.
Yeah, probably similar to today, like 6:30.
Okay, sounds good, man.
But it'll probably be lighter with the
Lack of fog.
yeah, hopefully. Good night, camera.
Good night.
The tin flap was still quite damp, but unlike yesterday, my eyes could see clear across the valley. The ominous fog certainly made for some incredible contrast, but it's hard to beat the beauty of a clear mountain morning. With the light beams still mostly hidden behind the ridge, our sunshine wouldn't be hitting the water for another hour or so. This meant we weren't in any sort of rush to exit the camp.
I do feel a little sore today.
Yeah, feeling it.
Not in like a bad way.
Yeah, no, I
Gravelly conversations of nagging aches filled the time in between deep breaths of crisp mountain air as we did our best to rub the tired from our eyes.
Hillside. Something about it.
that hillside,
Something about it.
Yeah, when it had that glow behind it,
Yeah.
that was really nice.
I got too distracted with the food last night. I never really took pictures of it.
My God, what a feast.
Yeah, I
that
know.
was amazing.
Just munching. That was so funny.
I was so happy.
I've never, honestly, that was a lot of food. I've never seen someone eat that much food that effortlessly.
Me?
Yeah.
I'm telling you, and I could have kept going. I'm not kidding.
I know you could have.
I'm a glutton.
As nice as it was to soak up the morning and recount the sickly amount of food we ate last night, we needed to lower the bear bags and hit the trail. Clearly from yesterday afternoon's upstream blunder, going back downstream would be the best move. We weighed out the options and could both agree that there were confirmed fish in this section, a fair mix of sizable cutthroat and the occasional bull trout. Now, it was just a matter of being meticulous with our approach and making every single strip set count. Timing, it was looking to be just about perfect as the sun finally tipped over the burned ridge and graced the valley with its warm embrace.
Well, and everything that you get is like only going to be icing on top of the cake.
Right, exactly.
So,
Cake is fine on its own. But
cake's pretty good.
I like icing.
It might be hard to believe, but in the moment, the glow of a new day even made the matchstick forest seem a bit less desolate. The glow of the sparse underbrush was magnified by the clinging morning dew, and during a quick pit stop, we literally stepped on a good omen sticking out of the blackened earth. Lesser men would see this as a good luck charm, but with how this trip was going, Sam and I knew better. Seeing the bridge was the snap back into the reality we were waiting for.
Well, that's not terrible.
It's not bad. Why does it look so much worse over here? Yeah, it looks bad.
Yeah.
Maybe it's the light?
Not good.
No. Not at all.
It's a lot more water, too.
Yeah, no, a lot.
Make you pancakes, get out.
Woo-wee boy. That sounds like a treat and a half.
Doing our best to distract from the thought of more high water, we continued our junk food sparring match and who in fact could eat more when we got back into town. Luckily, as we approached our first hole of the day, the banks were empty. There was no sign of any other anglers on the trail, and for the most part, this entire trip has been quite isolated. I'm sure any right-minded individual would have taken one look at that chocolate milk mess and turned tail in the direction of greener pastures. So far, it's just been us and the resident osprey sharing the last slice of summer in the backcountry, and it looked like this trend was going to continue for one more day.
No, I think we might be in the clear. Yeah, man. Now we are in the clear.
Hallelujah.
All right. Step one. Step two, catch them.
I mean, it looks perfect.
It really does.
But so did they did yesterday.
Yeah.
I think the difference, I guess, though, would be the ones yesterday were really deep and kind of swirly.
Very isolated too, because between them was just hell. If I was a fish looking like to get to that, I'm like, that's gonna be really hard.
Yeah, I was thinking about it more. I think it might have to do with, like, it just might have been too much.
Yeah.
Oh, that's finally muddy.
Yeah, that's muddy and deep. We might have to start at the island.
The ash and sludge slurry seemed to really have settled on the banks of this longer run, but this should give you an idea of the conditions we are working with here. I would be willing to guess that out of the 7 miles we've fished so far, every inch had about an Oreo cookie cream layer of sludge coating the already slippery boulders. The only clear spots were made by two dumb anglers shuffling and slipping down the river.
Is it possible that the sun is just hitting the river and they need time? Yeah. Yep. That's all you want? Yeah.
Yeah, we need to net this boy. That's a good bowl. That's a good bowl, dude.
Best bowl yet.
Way to go, man.
Getting on board with the desired quarry is exactly how you want to kick off the day. By no means was this the dirty 30 we were hoping for, but this spunky char slid back into the stained water and disappeared in a cloud of dust. Rules on the water was that it was make it take it after the first fish, and Sam, he wasted no time. With the same quarter down approach, Sam swung through the entire run rather efficiently and managed to find himself another beautiful bull. There was no question, Sam was heating up from downtown.
Fish on, another same size class bull.
Nice.
This one had a lot of spunk to it.
Yeah, it seemed like a good fighter.
I thought this was a bigger fish.
Oh yeah, those freaking spots are so
I like how chunky his tail is. That's some fighting meat.
You've been eating a lot of fish, haven't you, buddy?
Good stuff, man. That's what we want to see.
On again.
There's a good one.
That's Cuddy.
Yeah, that's a cutty. That's the tea cutty.
Damn. Oh no!
This is a good. You should take the rod, I think. When I was doing there, I was doing this.
I would feel cheesy if I took the rod. It's very much like the dad catches the fish and hands. Oh, you're on again? Oh my gosh.
This is a baby.
Little guy, yeah, that's a juvenile for sure.
Yeah, he does have those little paw marks.
Pretty fish.
Amazing.
Sammy the bull.
That's 6.
That's
Three-
amazing, man.
3 today.
God dang.
Only fish I've caught today.
All right, do you want to show the folks at home the streamer setup
Let's do it.
we're working with?
So we have a fly all season original.
Wet cat.
Wet cat is the name.
So how you been catching those?
Swinging the streamer just right through this slow stuff in here.
And is it a strip or is it on the...
So I was doing some pretty aggressive strips. I was doing more like this earlier, but these last few have been just kind of weird,
subtle,
slow, just kind of twitchy movements.
Okay.
And mostly on the swing.
It feels very cheesy.
Thanks, Dad. Dude, I'm pissed about that cutty.
That's a good cutty.
That was probably an 18-inch cutty.
After doing the heavy lifting and actually finding where these fish were sitting, Sam graciously handed over the streamer rod. I think it was simply a monkey see, monkey do kind of situation, because after a strong swing with some erratic strips at the end, I connected with my first bull trout of the day.
That's something. I think that's a little bull. Oh.
Found the bull trout breeding ground.
Yeah, the babies.
Hey, I'll take it.
Oh, dude, I'm taking that any day of the week.
In the morning light, the colors on this little char were incredible, and with an already voracious appetite, I had no doubt in my mind that this little fish was going to be a monster one day. Once it swam back strong, we gave the tail end of this pool a few more swings to no avail. After getting as many fish as we had, it would seem as though this well, it had run dry. Relative to the rest of this trip, this first pool was a strong start, and spirits were rather high as we followed the trail downstream. So far, we've been pushing upstream with our approach, and more often than not, I think this is the most effective way to fish, but today, Sam and I both agreed to head downstream and hunt certain pools. The goal of this was to be somewhat picky with how and where we decided to fish.
Yeah, that wouldn't be bad. That would be worth going down to. Getting out would be shitty. Yeah, I wouldn't put past my younger stuff. I honestly think I did do that.
I would. There's a version of me that does that too.
Yeah, but not right now.
I don't know if it's today.
yeah. Today is not that version.
That one though.
Yeah, we'll make it down there.
We'll make it to that one.
All right, easy does it, man. Heck yeah.
This is also black.
Yeah, this is super dark.
It's darker down here than up there.
Yeah, unfortunately. It just don't look half bad.
Any snack?
All right. Sounds good.
I'm going to take this opportunity to get real for a second and be as transparent as possible, because the grinding nature of this style of fishing can dull the senses, especially when the rinse and repeat never leads to the desired results. Hundreds of empty casts were fanning the flame of apathy in my dullard mind, and I could feel myself starting to just go through the motions. My muscles were starting to remember this dragon dance quite well, and it was so familiar in fact I could press autopilot on my arms, which allowed my mind to wander. I can specifically remember crawling into a petty corner of my mind and being quite envious of my comrades' beachside goldfish snack break. All I could think about was a snack that would truly smile back. Was that so much to ask? Hunger pangs were clearly getting the best of my attention, and a violent tug into an autonomic strip set interrupted my choreographed dance in a significant way. All things considered, luck played a huge part here, because I think I had no business being on the same line with the biggest fish of the trip.
Oh my gosh. Oh my God. Wow. Oh shit. Oh no. Oh no, what are you? Oh my God. It's a rainbow. I don't know. I can't imagine it'd be a stream resident. Did you see that thing jump? That was epic. This probably will be my best fish of the trip.
I think that's probably either of our best fish of the trip. I mean, that's by far our best fish.
I thought this was a big bull trout, I'll be honest. Alright, I'm gonna try and two-hander.
That's just as good.
I think it might be. If we can call this a steelhead. I don't know, it seems too small. But I don't know anything about steelhead.
That jump, I think I let out a loud noise.
I just turned on my GoPro too, which was nice. Wow, this thing's thick as hell.
That's a gorgeous rainbow too.
That's a big fish.
I don't know if that qualifies as steelhead or not.
I don't know, like I don't know
But
what size they come
I
back.
didn't think there were resident rainbows in here that were that size.
Of that caliber.
Yeah.
Well, that's why it's like, what is it?
Wow. This is one I'd like to take a picture of.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll pulse you that. Yep. Oh. Alright, there she goes.
Dang, sorry about that.
No, I had the GoPro on, so she's golf, man. Can I get a stinky hug?
Holy the fish right there. What do you have to say?
I don't know what I just caught, but it was big and it was chromy, and I'm very happy. I mean, yeah, you know, that's what you come here for, I guess.
Adhering to our make it take it rule set, the confusion only deepened as I managed to find another streamer eating beauty.
Come on, dude. It's another rainbow.
Not fish either.
No, not at all. But again, where is he in the spectrum?
That's what
No, it's a cut bow. Ah, the missing link.
This cut bow had much more bow than cut, but that slash was a dead giveaway as to its pedigree. This was yet another link in the chain of confusion surrounding that big rainbow I just caught, so I think it's time for some further explanation. In real time, we sure had a lot of confusion around this particular fish, and even months later, when this trip is over and done, it is still quite puzzling, and I'm not sure if I've got a concrete explanation for the size class of this pure rainbow trout living in the system. To get to a potential answer, I may need to start at the problem. The Pacific Ocean is hundreds of miles away from this particular river. This system and others like it are connected to larger systems like the Salmon, the Snake, and eventually the Columbia that dump into the ocean. Dams, overfishing, and habitat loss aside, it allows for anadromous fish, like salmon and steelhead, to access these remote systems for spawning purposes. Okie doke, that is some of the context needed out of the way, so now let's look at confusion suspect number 1, the steelhead smolt. You can see tangible evidence of successful steelhead spawning through the various smolt that call these systems their home before they run to the ocean. These smolt might get around 4 to 7 inches before they decide to leave their river nursery and head to the ocean. So when the same size fingerling smokes your fly, it's easy to know what you're working with. Still with me? Okay, good. That leads us to suspect number 2, the resident cutthroat. Sam and I have both caught a decent amount so far, and I say resident for a reason. These cuts will do some migrating throughout the seasons, but as a general rule of thumb, they stay in the same systems. In a healthy river like this, these fish tend to sit in that 12 to 16 inch range, but don't be surprised if a cutty in the 20-inch plus size range decides to slurp your dry fly. Something to note is that our cutthroat and rainbow trout friends are cousins and can successfully interbreed. This is important because that leads us to the middleman, suspect number 3, the cutbow. This is the fertile hybrid that results from rainbow trout and cutthroat trout successfully interbreeding. Not nearly as prevalent as the resident cuts or steelhead smolt, but there were still a few kicking around. Filling in a similar niche, their size class was right around the same as their cutthroat counterpart. So circling back, this mystery bow has to be a steelhead, right? And as much as I would like to say that my first taste of chrome was a summer steelhead in central Idaho, I think that would be incorrect as well. This fish was a few inches under the average steelhead length for this particular run of fish, plus the coloration was very much that of a resident fish. This might be shocking to some, but I am not a scientist. I am but a lowly idiot that reads too much about trout and trout accessories, and because of this, my final conclusion is that this was a unicorn size class resident rainbow. Arguably harder to find than the dwindling steelhead runs, but that is probably my ego talking and can very much be up for debate. The programming of fish is not as binary as a lot of us anglers would like to think. It all has to do with available resources and the best chance of passing on genetics. My guess is that wherever this rainbow trout fry ended up, it had enough food and available habitat to grow into a healthy smolt, then par, and finally an adult trout without ever feeling the need to run to the ocean to gather the needed resources. Something tells me that this big old boy will have no issue passing on its genes if and when the time comes. So I very much apologize for this rant. I hope that makes sense and maybe explains our mutual confusion in the field. But for now, let's get back to the river. In a lot of ways, this pool had already made the day a major win, as well as having a significant effect on the overall gauge of success for the entire trip. But with the bites quieting down, we continued our downstream push to hopefully more of the same. And I would hate to continue harping on these hard lessons learned, but this might be one you take with you, especially in the backcountry. Our lust for bites had dramatically ramped up, and our attention was rigidly fixed on our flies rather than our surroundings. This is a version of tunnel vision I like to call dog vision, because like a slobbery tennis ball, nothing else in the world mattered outside of that white flash swinging across the run. Zeroed in, we completely missed a jet black figure loping up the opposite side bank.
Look,
What am I looking at?
you're about to be triggered, but look across the river.
I was looking at that nice run over the corner.
Right below them.
Wow.
Hello.
Yeah, smell us now, lady. Come on.
Hey, buddy. Just gotta let him know you're here.
Think he'll tear off?
No.
Just a split second after wondering if this scruffball was ready to run, I turned off the camera and he tore off. Even with how small this young bear was, it glided up this impossible angle with the utmost ease. After getting a foul whiff and confirming with his ears that we were in fact those hairless monkeys, he was not interested in what we were selling. With this only being my second ever bear encounter, it was nice to see the normal way a bear reacts in this kind of situation.
Wow.
He's just teleporting up there.
You're so good at moving.
Did you see him on that log?
Yeah.
That was so impressive.
Where'd he go anyway?
First, I think he's still hauling up. There we go. There's some real critters.
Yeah. The wildlife
Real wildlife.
photography dramatically improved today. I'm also just still annoyed at the dry fly action, but
Yeah, this is kind of bunk, huh?
yeah.
Because there should be cutty all right there. Boom,
Right,
boom,
like
boom,
in
boom.
person. I'll move that.
Is that it?
That was a good one too.
With our dry flies still not receiving much love, Sam grabbed the streamer rod and found yet another bull on the day. The monster we were out here hunting was still eluding us, but a bull trout is a bull trout, and we were happy to see it swim back. Not but a few casts later, in that same run as that baby bull, Sam found another follower and strip set into one of the better cutties of this entire trip so far.
Nice pink. His cheek plate is amazing.
I like
It's
that.
really
With the 2 dots.
Yeah.
Really giving some character there. Nice fish, man. The streamer
He's
monster.
been caught quite a few times.
Oh, yeah, he's got that crooked smile, huh?
Yeah.
Look at you, guy.
The pace so far has been rather fast, so lunch, it was well overdue, and murky water and another cliff bar disappeared quickly as we headed downstream to the next pool. We weren't surprised, just more so frustrated as plumes of gray clouds started to fill our bluebird sky, and knowing we were miles away from the camp, we couldn't risk exploring any further downstream. This would have to be our stopping point. And I suppose insult to injury is that we had no fish to show for this last hole. However, we did spot a leaping figure along the bank that was very much worth some inspection.
His eyes are beautiful.
They really are. He's a squirmy boy, though.
Maybe you feel more comfortable this way, friend? Yeah, there you go.
All right, friend.
That's maybe enough.
Enjoy your summer. Find a safe place to hide. But that would halt, I would say that would halt all estimated times by an hour.
Yeah. The weather's okay, then contemplate it.
Well, there's a couple of those runs
Yeah.
close to camp that look good.
Yeah, we could do them quick.
I got to re-rig too. That's a problem.
Planning was in flux as we contemplated what the best course of action might be. This was very much a should we stay or should we go kind of situation, and we reached a point where we couldn't put this off anymore. With how intense the back and forth planning was, it was amazing we saw the silhouette down by the river, and I stopped dead in my tracks and set up the tripod, and sure enough, that was our second bear of the day. And it might be a little hard to tell, but compared to the bear from earlier, this one was much bigger. This bear clearly had a few years under its belt, and as it got closer, we figured it was time to let it know we were in the area.
Think we got to give him a whoop and a holler. Let them know we're here.
Hey, bear!
Hey, bear!
Hey, bear!
This is one of the issues when it comes to filming an adventure like this, because in the moment, I must admit, I was much more concerned with watching the bear through my own eyes rather than through the camera, so I didn't get the best look of it tearing off. However, this thing displayed its strength quite well by swimming clear across the rushing river and hoofing it up the opposite side ridge in under a minute. This is a physical feat that would take the most in-shape human probably 10 times as long to pull off. These critters are no joke, folks, but with that now being our second bear of the day, it might be worth talking a bit more about bear safety. Just because central Idaho is lacking in the grizzly department doesn't mean bear country is any less dangerous. As you can see, it was only a matter of hours in between both those bear sightings, and as the crow flies, they weren't all that far away, and both were hugging the bank very hard. Late season, the backcountry has their mind on juicy berries and dying salmon if they can find them. Gotta fatten up before Father Winter blows through, you know? So between that and the presence of smelly human food you pack in, certain precautions need to be taken to avoid any unnecessary interactions. I think first and foremost on the list would be food storage. Anymore, this should be a no-brainer in the backcountry, but be sure to check any and all regulations because certain jurisdictions require the use of more, let's just say, robust protection like a bear box, but with it being this far out in the middle of the national forest, all we needed to do was hang our food and toiletries out of reach. Trees are best, but when in doubt, a cliff works just as well. Another little trick I've used in the past is creating a perimeter with bear bells, and since there weren't many trees in the burn area to actually hang them up, we couldn't utilize this trick. But when we were outside of camp, I think the most important thing that we have for bear safety overall is the bear spray itself. And here's a quick demonstration for any and all out there who may be unfamiliar with this tool. Here we have a simulated bear spray can, and this is simply pressurized water that has a similar effect to the real deal. Overall, it is a pretty simple contraption. The two main parts come down to the safety and the trigger. Once you remove the safety, the trigger will become loose and ready to discharge. Now I gotta say, you have to press down fairly hard on the trigger, but once you do, there will be a slight kick. It's nothing too substantial, but hopefully this allows you to see the overall distance and spread of what you're working with here. Now, even though storing food, hanging up bells, and carrying some form of deterrent is all well and good, oftentimes when you're out here, bear and human interactions will be purely up to fate and whether or not the timing lines up. Just be sure that you keep your eyes and ears peeled and never be afraid to give off a hey bear to let them know you're in the area.
Hey, bear!
Hey, bear!
That's it, I think.
Okay. Hike out, pack out, leave. Tonight. Hot food,
Yep.
service,
Yep.
potential. It would be leaving fish to find fish.
Yep. And we'd have to be pretty sure about what we're doing. So I think the another pro-con situation is if we stay here, personally, the fish are more appealing here. Like, I'm more interested in the fish that could be in this river.
Big bull trout.
Big bull trout.
We know there's big cutties.
Yeah. Could be steelhead, could be salmon too.
Right. Versus just cutthroat.
Yeah, I think anywhere else we find is just gonna have cutthroat. Most likely. Unless we go far. The last two options. It's really just like, do we stay or do we leave? I guess.
Yeah, I mean, camp's all set up. Everything, we've kind of got a flow going.
Yeah. We've had a pretty solid day.
We've had a solid day. I just
Better than yesterday already, and we still have all afternoon.
so it's 2:20 now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, the time is what's kind of getting me. It's either all or nothing. If we kind of piddle our way down, it's gonna kill us on the back end, and we're only gonna get more tired.
Yeah.
Instead of just using what little fuel tanks we got left to get the fuck out of here and totally rewrite our destiny.
I wanted to keep this in to highlight how our real-time decision-making actually went. The final verdict was to re-rig the rods, fish a few more holes, and risk the nasty weather pushing in. We both agreed that the first echo of thunder would be our end-of-session alarm. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. It would take a decent amount of time to get back to camp and break down before the rain might strike, so there was no room for dragging our feet.
Hopefully not lightning. Yeah.
It is just nice to be out here, though.
Well, yeah, and this is the dude, we're so bipolar. But yeah, no, it is. It really is. Like all honesty, it's a treat.
It's hard. It's just you keep yourself grounded. It's kind of tricky.
See any bull trout down there?
Yeah, right.
Did we have to go down and around for this shit? I guess we did. That's dumb.
Yeah. I mean, I'm fine walking on the boulder field, but I'm not fine scaling this cliff.
No, yeah, let's go around.
We tried our best to remain positive as we neared the end of this session, but with Sam not even getting a follow in one of our few primetime holes, things were looking grim. As we maneuvered the familiar boulder field, the looming clouds were growing at an accelerated rate. I was quite sure this run would yield similar results as Sam, but the abrupt tug would offer a slight bit of shock followed by utter disappointment.
No!
I could use any excuse in the book right now. Maybe I was tired, or hungry, or maybe hurting all over from this meat grinder trip. But there was no reason to mope like a sour sack after missing that nice cutty. And because of that little temper tantrum, I wholeheartedly believe I did not deserve this next fish.
Why are you eating streamers? Well, folks, we are on the best, possibly the best, dry fly river in the country. Cutty's coming up at anything you throw with a little bit of floating on it. But this trip, we've caught maybe more fish on a streamer than on the dries. It's been a struggle, so that is what the cutties are munching. Big meat, not dry flies. We don't get it, but I shouldn't be too upset. This is actually a really nice fish. It's a solid cutty. That's what we kind of wanted. But yeah, just couldn't get them on the dries for whatever reason.
That was a beautiful cutty, though.
Yeah, it is almost ironic that is the last fish.
Yeah. That does make me think, though, like, what if we just been catching those constantly without any effort? See if we can go talk to that fly shop girl. Like, why is fishing bad?
If she can even, like, handle our stank. Our combined stank might run the whole store out.
I have deodorant, I think.
I don't think that's gonna, I don't know if that's gonna be enough.
Use one of those body wipes and some deodorant. You can,
You can be passable. We're gonna need that if we go to a diner, that's
like
for
putting
sure.
a Band-Aid on an artery bleed.
Yeah.
Squirts out the edges. You know?
Yeah. It's like, I think, just don't move a lot.
I know I can take my tent down in like 40 seconds. I timed all of it.
Is that a requirement? Do you have to time it?
Nope. We can revisit this trip in like 5 years.
Yeah, I think that might be the best case.
All I'm thinking about now is having...
Diner food.
Here, you want to eat some of my food when we get back?
Bro, don't tempt me. I swear to God I will.
Give me some almonds.
Whatever you got, leave it out on a rock. He'll be gone in seconds.
Yeah. I think we could reasonably be out of there in like 30 minutes.
Yeah.
45.
I'm gonna have to hustle to keep up with your pace.
Kind of feels nice though.
The rain?
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I would agree.
Yeah, I have a very complicated relationship with this river now.
Yeah, it's certainly different. It's I feel the same way. I'm like, I don't know if I trust you anymore.
Yeah. Well, cause like I told you, right? Like I only fished it a couple times. And
Yeah.
I like never had any luck at all except for little babies.
Sure.
So like in my head, I was already like, it's pretty fickle.
Right.
You had like a really good experience with it.
Probably the best. It seems like I might have had too good of an experience.
Yeah. But now, pickle.
Because it's kind of in the middle. It's like, okay, we found bull trout. We found something big that was a rainbow. We found cutties.
Yeah.
Big question mark on the cutties.
There's no cutties eating fried fire.
The swollen clouds surrounded our ashen valley, and the air reeked of another afternoon gully washer. This all seemed eerily similar to the river-ruining thunderstorm on our first day, but there was no hesitation once we hit camp. The carrot of diner food was more than enough to make us roll the dice in the face of uncertain elements. While we broke down camp, we did a menu tennis match back and forth of what we were going to order once we stepped back into civilization. And besides a slight and sporadic drizzle, we were able to stuff our packs scot-free and avoid some of the scarier parts of this late summer squall. Remaining dry for the hike would be nice, but again, when Mother Nature gives, she tends to take. Rain would be out of the picture, but a whipping wind was here for the long run.
Boy, it doesn't feel lighter.
No, mine's pretty tall.
Yeah, it's not the best. But, you know.
Survive, that's the name of the game right now.
It's 5 miles. 5 miles is piece of cake.
That was really bad.
Yeah. You kind of lucked out.
Yeah? Yeah, for a while there, it looked like at any minute we could have ran back Saturday.
Yeah.
Swirling dust is tough on the eyes, but it gives the effects of this howling wind a bit more life. This angry force would hit us at every angle as the thermals danced across the valley, and being exposed was far from ideal, and I almost lost my hat on a few separate occasions, but being fully committed at this point, there was no turning back. All we could do is squint our eyes and hustle our way back to Sam's bull trout hole from earlier today.
Oh, and you can tell I'm very dirty too.
Yep.
Pretty good. I actually did notice that you still had the rod set up, and I was wondering.
I just didn't want to break them down.
Hell yeah.
We're gonna use them tomorrow anyway,
Yeah, that's true.
at some point. All right, tally ho, my man. That'd be so funny.
All right.
All right, well, you're gonna have to get in my way. I'm not going in the water. I got the net.
Wind is not great.
I don't think it wants us to fish this last run.
It most certainly did not. Trying to cast that heavy rod with the weighted streamer was next to near impossible with the unrelenting gale force winds. Nothing was interested in biting, but while Sam worked this run, we started hearing trees explode along the ridge. The sharp crack would follow by a muffled thud as the matchstick force began to fall in front of our eyes. We both agreed we needed to saddle up and hit the trail because the falling trees were much too close for comfort.
Oh man, one of these days, this slide's gonna get me. I'm gonna go all the way down. On this sketchy part over here, I feel it every time. I'm like, this is the step where it gives and doesn't stop.
Yeah, I'm trying to think how easy it would be to stop yourself. I think it'd be hard.
I can't imagine when you got the momentum and gravity pulling at you.
I think you kind of have to stop yourself.
Sam, no, you're reckless. You're being reckless. Don't do it. I know it does. We're pushing right at 620. We got to scoot though.
Yeah, we gotta.
The poison in this situation is a real toss-up because no matter which way you pick it, the predicament sucks. Hiking out in a violent thunderstorm wouldn't be great. I think that's something everyone can agree on, but having to maneuver through matchstick burns as strong gusts push them down is an anxiety-inducing game of dominoes that neither of us wanted to play. Luckily, with each turn of the trail, the features became somewhat more familiar. Taking longer than expected, we were now also in a race against the late summer sun, and as we made the final pass over the footbridge, it would seem as though we had made it just in the nick of time.
We're the only idiots here.
Everyone else is probably like, oh, the river's.
Yeah, definitely don't go there.
Oh,
Oh, yeah.
hell yeah. Yeah, I'm stoked on that. That was fun.
What a trip. Oh, they've got one right there. Perfect. In the bathroom right there. Perfect.
Oh yeah. I will be on there immediately.
Woo! Woo, 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 woo.
Getting cleaned up and sitting down for the first time all day felt truly euphoric. It's hard to express how even the smallest of luxuries are amplified after time in the backcountry. My poor bag of trail mix was wolfed down as we meandered through the dying light, reflecting off the ridges. It was clear we had no chance of making it back in time to hit a diner, which at the time was a tad disappointing, but there was always tomorrow. We found ourselves a nice piece of gravel to pull off to and hunkered down for a front seat slumber. Loose ideas were tossed back and forth, but we both agreed whatever the next day had to offer would surely be better. Satisfied with our mountain town supply run, our day had started off on a rather high note, just as the fog was starting to lift from the valley. Following the main stem of the Salmon downstream, we had our sights set on a rather historic valley rumored to be in recovery. We kept our fingers crossed in the hopes that there were still a few trout kicking around. We dodged plenty of potholes, weaving our route up the Custer motorway and into the upper sections of the Yankee Fork drainage. Once a main artery bringing valuable supplies into the mining boom towns, these days, its gravel only sees the wheels of eager tourists seeking a small distraction in their day of mountain time activities. And like a trail of breadcrumbs, discarded piles of rocks grew as we passed stagnant tailing ponds. Following the channelized scar of the Yankee Fork, the vegetation on the banks was few and far between, and first impressions had me thinking it was not very fishy. With slow speeds and bumpy roads, it seemed like we followed this lifeless cut for some time, but we eventually caught up to what is now the quiet culprit sitting idle in the morning light. Built for the Snake River Mining Company back in 1940 for the astounding cost of $430,000, this massive machine tipped the scale at around 988 tons, or close to 2 million pounds. Powered by 2 diesel engines and the max crew of 12 men, this operation ripped its way upstream for the better part of 12 years. For 5 miles of destruction, a few $1 million worth of precious metal was discovered. With it now being dormant in modern times, its claim to fame is being one of the most well-preserved gold dredges in the lower 48, and I suppose that's all well and good because history is important. Preserving a relic of the past, it allows for great reflection, but the monumental damage caused to this ecosystem, it just cannot be ignored. In this brief 12-year period, the entire riverbed was ripped up and flipped over in the hunt for precious metals. Not good for fish. The entire river was channelized into a featureless and sterilous scar. Also not good for fish. The entire floodplain was compromised with the destruction of bankside vegetation and the building of tailing ponds. Really not good for fish. And folks, this is but the cliff notes. I could be here all day explaining the monumental damage done to this system, but I don't want to dwell on the darkness. In all of this, there is a bright spot. Over the past 10 years, the Yankee Fork Rehabilitation Project has been one of the largest stream restoration projects taking place in the state of Idaho. Different groups have partnered up in order to take small steps to undo the damage of the past. And with no such thing as a quick fix, something like this will take a lot of time. Estimates claim the restoration work will inevitably cost all the partners involved considerably more time and money than the value of the silver and gold ripped from these rocks so many years ago. Kind of funny how that works, right? But in all this hard work, there is a spark of hope. Returns of salmon, steelhead, and even bull trout are slowly coming back to the valley and are being closely monitored by various conservation groups. Sam and I were hoping to be witness to some of that recovery today.
Definitely fast.
Well, after that mud,
Yeah.
mud. Oh, I needed water, man.
I know, I get it.
It was bad. Dude, fuck if I do, fuck if I don't.
No, I know, I just got lucky. And just happened to do it already.
All right, man. I'm good.
Okay.
Everything's stuffed in my truck, unorganized as hell.
Sweet. Well, I'm good too. Let's get cracking.
Like a scene plucked out of the Andy Griffith Show, I could hear the whistles in my mind as Sam and I moseyed down the gravel road in the direction of our little fork.
Ooh, yeah. I don't know. This sucks. I don't know if we want to fish this.
With crystal clear water and snaking bends, it's hard to think a stream like this had such a rough past. Getting our feet wet, we didn't expect to immediately start catching fish, especially so close to the road. So, eager smiles still tugged at our cheeks as playful banter filled the air.
Well, that looks good right there.
But the further up we pushed, it just wasn't right. Sam and I, we started to notice a small but very particular trend plucking at our oversized dry flies.
Little guys.
Yeah. Huh.
First one looked okay, but I realized it's not so deep.
Is your dropper even get, I mean, it's not, it can't be even getting close to that, huh?
No, it's like a foot.
Yeah, no. Nah, it's a little cutty.
Okay.
Nice little monster.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah.
And you know, I think if we can like get the fishing dialed in at all, this is one of the prettier creeks I'll have fished all summer. So
I like how open it is, and
Yeah.
like, yeah, this is cool.
you can tell it floods hard.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, that's break the skunk.
Something,
huh?
man. That's something.
I do think though if that's gonna be the size class, I'm gonna get my net.
Whoa, that's a chongus. Jesus.
Huh? Oh yeah.
That's a chongus.
All the way up here.
Nice. Come on, fish gods. Show me what you got.
Easy do the dandy.
Yes, yes, yes. That's the motto. That's the motto of the day.
Pretty similar size.
Yeah, it's a little better.
That's a pretty fish, man.
Very cool. Exact opposite way.
I mean, if the water doesn't, it is a little off color.
Yeah.
A little miney.
Is that a Crayola color?
Yeah.
Miney?
Acid mine drainage is the new crayon.
Yeah, yeah. That's a fish.
A little better. Nah, it's the same. It is a fish.
Hey, yeah, that's what we wanted.
Oh, I don't know. That seems a lot better.
Yeah. I mean, that's better. That's more in the...
A lot might be the wrong word.
I don't know about a lot, but it is a fish.
You're the fish we needed, but the fish we didn't need.
No, it's like...
No, we stay.
No. This isn't enough to convince me to stay. I mean, if a hole like that has one 8-inch fish,
That's a bad sign.
yeah.
Big bad sign. And that just seems to be how things go, because as soon as I turned off the camera, Sam hooked up.
This is the best fish so far.
Yeah.
Literally right as I stopped recording. That's how it happens.
This is the first one that's big enough to eat the chubby.
Oh, monster. What are you? You're a rainbow. That's a rainbow. That's beautiful.
That is a nice rainbow.
Wow, is he different?
Yeah.
Wow, dude.
That's a gorgeous fish.
That's crazy.
Fat little fish, too.
I know. Those spots are crazy.
Leopard.
He is leopard print, man.
Shark fin, too.
Well, I missed the hook set, but that's best fish of the day. Not saying much, but we're moving in the right direction.
I was just about to say not saying much, but this is all right. I'm pretty happy with
That's
that
a
fish.
beautiful, pure rainbow. That's so good. That's so good, man.
That's the prettiest fish we've caught all week, probably.
I think you might be right, man. Very cool.
Yeah, there's another one right there.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
That's a bigger one, actually.
Okay.
There's bull trout in here. I think we need to slightly change our approach.
Maybe.
We were about to leave, and you put your rod tip in the water, and a little fish came up and followed it.
And it looks very suspicious.
Looks very much like it could be a little bull trout.
They are in here.
This is a spawning stream for them, but we haven't been seeing very many fish, so we're just a little
That
confused.
could be the culprit.
So I tied on a little streamer,
Fingers
On-
crossed, man.
a 3-weight fiberglass rod, and I'm gonna see what happens.
Oh my gosh. He just took that. No! I think that was a bull trout.
It's too small for the net.
No!
All right, one more try.
Yeah, let that sink all the way to the bottom. Oh, set. Oh my gosh.
Shit.
Oh my gosh. That's a rainbow. Oh my god!
Okay.
Oh, that was a big fish!
All right.
That was a big fish!
All right. Okay.
Sam! What the hell?
It's okay. This is maybe we stick around a little bit.
Oh my god, what the hell? That might answer a lot of questions that we have. That thing came out. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
If nothing significant changes, do you want to 12:30 reconsider?
Yeah. I think so. Yeah. Hey.
Oh, it's a bull trout. Oh my gosh.
Let's keep all that downstream here. What do you say? Oh no.
Oh, rats. Bull trout, baby bull trout. That's so very cool. But this is the problem with double dries. And this is why we're taking the ant off. Ah. Micro bull trout.
Ooh.
That might be a netter.
That's a netter. Cuddy?
Nope, that's a bull trout.
Oh, nice.
Bull trout, the bull trout adventure just isn't stopping.
No, we can't quit.
It's so, you could totally understand how this could be conceived as a brook trout.
Mm-hmm. Makes me wonder about if I've caught any in the past.
I bet you have.
Before I knew.
Don't do that.
Seeing that little bull swim back was an absolute treat, and I managed to pull a few more little rainbows out of this hole before we decided to keep pushing upstream. Crunching up the gravel on our way to the next pool, Sam and I were both pleased to see physical proof that fluvial bull trout were making their way up the main stem of the Salmon and into the Yankee Fork to successfully spawn. Unfortunately, that would be the last proof we saw all day. We tried a few more holes, but our patience for this section was starting to wear thin, and the fictional grass was starting to look greener on the other side. Yet again, we committed the cardinal sin of fishing. We left small fish in the hopes of finding fish. You might be wondering, where did we ever go wrong? And boy howdy, I wish I knew. Initially, rumors of a productive meadow section pulled us further upstream, but the forest road narrowed and so too did the stream, and feeling uneasy about the skinny water, we hatched a new plan. A stream closer to town sounded like it'd be fun, so we burned a trail past the ghost towns until we met with the main road yet again. With the sun still high in the sky, the pressure hadn't hit us quite yet, and based on looks alone, plan B, it seemed like it was the right choice.
Well,
Is this us?
yeah.
Cool, public stream access.
We
Thank
may
you.
have found some,
Something?
something. I don't know if there's fish in it.
Something. Cheers to fly line.
Payette?
Mm-hmm.
Hopper.
The drone of meadow hoppers gave false credence to our hasty decision-making process as we marched across the open terrain. We gave the easement sign a quick read, and we were fairly convinced we had just hit a home run. Why in the world would there be a posted angler easement sign if it didn't have fish? Oh, I wish it were only that simple.
It looks good.
I like it.
Good walk. A lot of cows in the background.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
All right, you want to spook whatever's in this pool just to see what's here?
No, I'd rather cast at it. I'm gonna walk down, I'm gonna set my beer down and cast at it. That's a big, big fish. But I saw another one up at the top of the pool. He porpoised, his back porpoised.
Looking back, seeing these absolute champions of nature was well worth the time wasted at a fishless creek. Yeah, you heard me right. I said fishless. We had to learn this lesson the hard way, but we later found out that most of Valley Creek gets too warm during the summer for salmonids to live comfortably year-round. After multiple holes without so much as spooking a fish, we came to this conclusion on our own and then promptly turned back towards the cars. The sun was now on a downward trajectory, and this is the point in the day where the pressure really started to mount. With all the monkey wrenches thrown our way throughout this entire trip, striking out at our second creek of the day was just salt poured into the wound. And as we rolled up to our final spot of the day, there was only more salt to follow.
Ooh boy, these are the days where filming this is hard. Oh wow, this is a nice convenient path down, but nobody fishes here.
Yeah, I think we'll have some unpressured fish.
Uh-huh, they've never seen flies.
Look, there's even a picnic table.
Perfect.
Next hole is smaller.
Yeah, this one's kind of impossible, I think. Oh my gosh, I just had a follow.
Porpoise out of the.
Yeah.
Nice one. That's fish. Oh.
I started out of the gate hot with back-to-back whitefish, and Some may see these as a native nuisance, but I sure appreciate the decent bend these little torpedoes put in my 5-weight. And while I was dredging up whiteys, Sam was slamming various cutthroat and steelhead smolt, holding in the pockets further upstream. All cynicism aside, this kind of action was a breath of fresh air on the day we had. Hole hopping along a busy road, it might be our least favorite kind of fishing, but we were very much beggars at this point, which meant we couldn't be choosy on where and how we were finding our fish. Finishing out this section with one more west slope was more than enough to satisfy my lust for fish on the day, and he flopped back and we immediately started looking for a way back to the cars. Grumbling stomachs led us up and out of this section and in the direction of town. There was a sweet little pizza joint that was calling our name, and a hot slice of pie might be the only thing to soothe the frustration on a day like today.
Oh, Sam, I'm so hungry. I'm a good boy, too.
Get out of here.
With bellies full and darkness closing in, we were officially in the fourth quarter of this trip. Rolling the dice, we had one last shot to salvage this entire week. Rolling into a dark trailhead parking lot, light from headlamps guided sore fingers and tired eyes in preparation for our final morning. With light now gracing our surroundings, it was time to forego the warmth and relative safety of the front seat in favor of the cold and dusty trail.
Last day.
Last day.
Got it.
One good mama and her kiddos were the first to greet us on the trail, and they gave us a rather weary eye as we passed in pursuit of our downstream push. And as we turned the corner, the second thing to greet us was a truly bone-chilling wind. I find it so funny how narrow the window for summer truly is in the backcountry. It was late August, and this morning already felt like fall. The tops of the surrounding peaks had just received their first kiss of light, but down by the river, the sharp gusts stole any and all heat from our extremities. And to any and all out there, you wouldn't be faulted if the sight of these passing matchstick trees looked eerily similar to what we saw at the beginning of this entire trip. In some ironic twist of fate, we were hiking down one of two main tributaries that joined to create the river we spent the first 3 days fishing. As the crow flies, we couldn't be more than 15 miles away from the flattened remnants of our ashy camp.
Any interest in that?
Yeah, that's alright.
With our first stop prospecting for fish proving to be unsuccessful, we kept pushing down the trail. As the elevation dropped with each step, so too did our hope for fish.
No.
It's a whitefish, yeah.
Get a nice zoom in on those back scales. Those are very cool. Those overlapping.
I like the
purple.
the cheek, yeah.
Yeah, I know. Isn't that neat?
Shaking off my skunk with a healthy whitefish was a very welcome surprise and allowed our dropping hope to plateau instead of plummet. If the whitefish were here, surely other fish were here too.
It's always the best feeling. That's what, when I wake up in the morning, I think, you know what, today I want to kick a log and have it careen into the back of my heel.
Have the pointy part where a branch used to be.
Yep.
Nail me in one of the most sensitive spots in the body.
And I also like it when it cuts in and feels like, oh wow, did that take a chunk? That's what I want to do in the morning.
Missing a lot of chunks.
Yeah, I'm getting to a pretty decent point of beat up, of like fingers, hands, especially forearms taking a beating.
Well, this has just been kind of a rugged week.
Rugged, that'd be a good word for it. Rugged Idaho.
There's nothing that's been simple.
With this being the last day on the water, we were both absolutely exhausted. Multiple days in a row of the western grind under our wading belt was really starting to take its toll. Our minds and bodies were both about to reach their limit. And with still no sign of what we were looking for, apprehension to keep pushing downstream was building yet again.
Looks good.
I know, it looks really good. That's slow.
No.
Man, but getting down there, it's making me hesitate. How far down you want to go?
I don't know. I can't tell how deep that is.
I mean, it looks nice.
I'm just gonna drop my pack here.
Yeah, I'm gonna start shedding layers, doing the dash.
While I was shedding layers back where we had dropped our packs, Sam seemingly did the impossible. He had found the first trout of the day.
Patty.
You on?
Yeah.
I might have to toss you in a minute. Sam! What the heck?
My God.
Yes! Woo!
Unbelievable amount of effort for this fish.
Dude!
That's the best fish we've caught in like 3 days.
3 days. Oh my gosh.
That's a pretty fish.
Oh, beautiful. Unstinking believable, man. That's so fantastic. Can I get a quick fishy nucks for that, man?
Absolutely. That, if anything warrants fishy nucks,
That's phenomenal.
that's fishy nucks. Look at his belly.
Yeah,
There's,
it's so red.
like down
The
here.
west slopes are so cool, man. The water. You gonna go, buddy? There you go.
My God.
You gotta give me some feelings right now.
It's just kind of a weight off the shoulders.
This is extreme relief,
Yeah.
exuberance.
Feels good.
Feels good.
It makes me feel a little bit better about this whole river system.
The foot low hopper dropper in the middle of this deep,
Yeah.
fast stuff.
I know, like not even in a, I don't even know what fly I put on, because the last one that broke off, I just reached into my tin of miscellaneous nymphs
Just to
and
grab something.
put this on. I don't know what it is. Green?
It's breakfast to me.
Yeah.
I guess breakfast to that trout.
Me too.
Awesome, man. Well, now that bend up there doesn't seem half bad, does it?
No.
Seems like the effort might be a little bit more worth it now,
Yeah.
all around.
Yeah. I'm hoping there's a few more where that came from and that wasn't just an isolated
Fluke.
fluke. If that's a fluke, then I don't feel as good about it. But if there's a few more,
Well, wouldn't that almost be poetic justice? It's like, all right, guys, here it is. Just leave.
just get one last fish. It's
Just-
it's the
just
river
leave.
telling us to get out of here. Please leave. Take one and leave.
Set. That's got to be another cutty, huh?
I think so. Yeah, it is.
Let's go, dude. Dude, that's a great fish.
It's a better fish. I'm pumped about this one.
That's a good fish. Yes, dude, that's the fish.
That's
Woo! Yeah, dude, that's a quality fish.
probably the second best fish I've caught.
Oh my gosh.
That's a great fish.
I went like this. I went on my close bar. That's a beauty.
I'm all good now. Oh, just barely nailed him too.
Damn, son, that's a cutty.
Look at all these little blue marks right here. Just crazy spotting on this one.
That's so cool. All right, hold on. Since we're here, oh no. Oh, he says no, you jerks. I'm out. I was gonna say I was gonna try and get a picture on my phone, but that works, man. Woo! Let me hear it, Sam. Let it out. Woo! There it is. Woo!
I'm not a big yelper.
Oh my gosh.
Oh man, okay, you gotta hop in now.
All right. Where was
I
he?
barely got to the good part too.
Yeah, no, it seems like the
There's
good
plenty of
stuff
good
is there.
stuff up there.
Wow.
Man,
I think you've earned that pizza, sir.
I think so too.
Well deserved, sir. Well deserved. I might have to join you though.
What time is it? Like 10?
10:30. Who cares? Cheers, man.
10:30
Way to
beers.
go.
Those last two fish, honestly, were probably like, what do you say, 10 hours of fishing?
What do you mean?
Like, we tried for like 10 hours
10 hours to. Yeah.
to like find good quality fish.
Maybe more.
Maybe more.
Probably more.
Probably more.
All in one run. Changes it just like that. Thanks, Dad. All it takes. I'm telling you, if this hit, it might be worth hiking upstream, via stream to get up there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think so. Let the pool rest for a minute.
Mm-hmm. The irony is not lost on me that we're catching our best cutties on nymphs.
Yeah, yeah, that's another thing to talk about, I guess. If they're not behaving normally.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
Oh shit. That's the fish.
That's another nice one. That's another nice one. Yeah, dude, what the hell is happening? What the heck?
That's a 16-inch fish right there.
I think that's it, yeah. Dude, did you see? He went yam! He just yammed that thing down.
You know what else I saw? Is there was one that was following when you were reeling him in. Yeah.
I did not see that. That is a good sign. Let me know how he looks.
He looks amazing.
Yeah, those blue spots are so cool. Good Lord.
This one's cheeks are really nice.
Yeah, that's nice. Well, I'm gonna be doing this for a little while because this entire trip is getting a nice bow tied at the very end. We're talking fourth quarter, Hail Mary pass. This is the fish we've been looking for the entire time. Sam just stepped up to the batter's box, got himself two. This is my first of the day. And I mean, these are the West Slope cutthroat we've been looking for. That's why we come to Central Idaho. And I mean, just so gorgeous. But we're gonna appreciate this guy, let him back, and maybe see if he has some friends. It was literally minutes of being, I was like very upset myself. Well, I mean, I got that white fish. Wow, those are nice cutties.
Those are great.
That's so nice.
Those are all like, I mean, the first one I caught was fine, but
The next two have been
really nice.
Yeah.
Wow, yeah. That like skyrocketed the mood. And the pizza and the beer are helping too.
That's a big dub. Big dub for the boys all around. No way!
As I scrambled over to the side channel where Sam was standing, sure enough, the silhouette of a large molted figure glided down right in front of us to a more protected part of the pool. It was clear to see this fish was inching closer to its inevitable demise with every swing of its decaying tail. It may seem a bit morbid to celebrate their loss, but Sam and I couldn't help but whoop and holler in excitement at the near sight of this beast. Against insurmountable odds, this fish had made it back to the stream it was born in so many years ago. And I might add, this outlier was not alone. Throughout the day, we started to lose count of these pelagic pilgrims racing their way upstream. Again, I apologize to any and all out there because this is extremely nerdy, but this kind of context is needed to understand how important each and every one of these fish is to the future of this species. This is the Chinook salmon. Being the biggest of the Pacific Run species, its name is derived from the Chinookan peoples that once populated parts of the Pacific Northwest. Also called king, these fish have seen a massive decline in numbers all across their native range here in the lower 48, but especially in places like Idaho. And in order to keep things as local as possible, I'm gonna mainly be focusing on this particular system that Sam and I were fishing during this trip. Keep in mind that we are as central gets within the state. Unfortunately, I don't have the time to give a complex problem like this its due diligence, but I'm gonna do my best to hit the high points. Like I had mentioned earlier, anadromous fish like our salmon and steelhead friends spend their youth in the fresh water, migrate to the ocean, get huge, and then return to their native waters to spawn. and each and every run of fish is genetically unique to that particular system. And within that glossed over sentence of their complex life cycle, these fish have to deal with predation at every level. Predation from native fish in the rivers, inland birds and mammals, and various ocean species is to be expected. But one major issue that would be worth looking into on your own time would be the impact from non-native fish species like walleye and smallmouth on the smolt migrating to the ocean. It's really kind of fascinating. This is more of a chicken or the egg kind of question because most of these non-native fish, they dominate the reservoir systems peppered throughout the migration route. And speaking of reservoirs, this run of salmon would have to survive passing 8 dams as smolt and another 8 on their way back as spawning adults. 900 miles downstream and another 900 miles upstream. Ocean travels, they're tough to calculate, and oftentimes it's dependent on the individual fish and how much time they spend in the salt. It's safe to say that adds thousands of miles to their round trip. The chances of something going wrong for these fish are quite high. Are you starting to understand where our excitement's coming from? But as exciting as this is, every blink brought a bittersweet taste. We were merely witnessing the emaciated, creaking bones of this once strong salmon river. The 30 or 40 fish we did see would have been hundreds at one point, maybe even thousands. Now, their resiliency, it cannot be denied, but what I worry most about is the longevity of the species. Is a handful of reds really going to be enough? At the time, Sam and I, all we could do was watch and wonder, but if anyone out there is watching and interested in some sort of action, my best advice would be to arm yourself with knowledge first and look into this issue from every angle possible. This is a spaghetti monster tangle of issues that cannot be simply fixed by making some disingenuous post on social media about how we should tear down those dams, man. But I will step off my pedestal and get back to the fishing. This day was far from being over.
Yes, 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 yes. Yeah!
Nice.
Alright, well, this is officially the first dry fly muncher of the day on the adjustable hopper. I'll show you that in a second. I think first, whew, he's ready to get back. To any of you folks who've been around a time or two, you might know the deal, so I apologize in advance for repeating myself, but for any of you who are new, I would like to introduce you to the adjustable dry dropper. That's what we just caught that fish on. You guys see that? Moving up and down. Got a video right here explaining how to tie it, how to rig it, the whole 9 yards. So go check that out. As always, I've got that link down below in the description. And if you have any questions, I've got another video right here for the FAQs, some things that come up when tying this fly and rigging it. But as you can see, it's been perfect for adjusting for depth this morning, but then also as they're starting to eat on the dry. I mean, you can't ask for much more than that, so. This is so satisfying. I think we're gonna keep heading downstream and keep this trend going, so let's go. That's why this is really cool.
For you. Whitey! There we go. I've completed my slam. They're really pretty.
No, I love their top scales.
Yeah, like up here.
Yeah.
And I love their cheeks.
Yeah, yeah. Cool.
Do the fly all season.
Salmon is whitefish.
The cheeky.
Hold it out and up. There you go. See ya, sir. Thank you.
See ya.
Well, hot diggity dog.
No complaints.
No complaints there, yeah. The washout.
Yeah, it's like a fresh sand spot.
Can't believe it's come to that time of day.
Sunscreen.
Gotta get sunscreen on because we're catching fish.
Not even noon yet.
God bless America.
The sun was now high in the sky and we were finally starting to find our groove. The fish were sitting where they were supposed to be, and most importantly, they were eating.
Cuddy. He says, I'm out. Good stuff, man. Yeah. Now my eyes are just like trained for salmon. I'm like, where are they?
Dodging salmon reds on our way downstream, Sam managed to hook up with yet another beautiful west slope, and upon further inspection, this fish had a disturbing stowaway.
That's a pretty one.
Oh yeah, buddy.
What's that say? Rock in the pocket? What do you say? It's beautiful.
What is that?
Oh, that's some sort of. It's gotta be a parasite.
Yeah.
Put on a rock. Let's get a look at that. Ew. That's disgusting.
I don't like that.
I don't like that at all. Well, you're welcome, guy.
Yeah, you're welcome.
It's a flatworm or something or other.
Yeah. Well, healthy anyway.
No kidding. Ain't letting that stop him for nothing. There we go. Oh, yeah. You're gorgeous. You're gorgeous. And just like that, chubby muncher.
There he goes.
Wow.
Doesn't look like salmon, but it must be. They're all kind of different colors.
So the color is the question, not the size.
Yeah, that one looks like a rainbow to me. The size is fine.
Steely boy.
Throughout this trip, Sam and I built up a contingency system that we routinely had to implement. During this session, for example, if we hadn't found fish by 11 a.m. this morning, we would have hiked out and been on the road to Boise by now. Since we'd finally found fish, our new contingency cutoff would have been hiking back at least by 3 p.m. That would give us time to clean up and make our way back to civilization. With only an hour or so left, we could really only make one more stop. And since we're close enough, it only made sense to make it all the way to the confluence.
His monster down on something. Enjoying his.
Yeah, this would be nice. This would have been really nice.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. That's big as hell.
There's a big hole.
Bull trout, you down there?
There must be a big bull in there, huh?
You'd think so. You think one would never, ever leave. Yeah. Ooh, yeah, it's bath time. I can feel it.
There's a beach and everything.
It's gonna be so nice.
I had my beer now.
Yeah. Might have jumped the gun on the beer.
No. It felt good.
The Selly beer.
It felt right to me. You know, I need the caffeine demon. Is what I really need.
Yeah, me too. This is neato.
There's a big hole.
So this is what they're talking about. A big hole.
I'm gonna catch the sun.
All right, I'm gonna watch you.
I mean, I don't know if
Might jump into the current if you're done over there.
Oh yeah, definitely. I'm grumpy.
We were each given one last chance at fish, and while Sam got a quick beachside bath, I completely botched my last opportunity.
Oh! That was something.
Yeah.
That was something. Oh no!
I continued to pound the water hard, but with not so much as another sniff, I knew I had squandered my last chance, and it was time to give Sam a swing and see if he could do better.
Water feels nice.
Yeah, I'm about to dive in.
Mind if I take a streamer cast or two?
Go for it, go for it. Holy cow! I think you wanted that, so geez Louise.
Yeah. Calm down, buddy. You can just have it now.
Oh. Follow? That's a fish. That's a bull.
Fourth quarter bull trout.
Fourth quarter bull trout.
It's so amazing.
Oh, that's what he deserves.
And he is out of here. Incredible.
First cast.
All right, now I'm gonna go take a bath.
Yeah.
With one very cold bath out of the way and the clouds moving in, we were quickly approaching our 3 p.m. extraction point. It was time to pack up shop and find the trail.
Now it's starting to feel real.
Yeah. The hike out.
No, just the trip over.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Now,
It's coming to a close.
for sure. It's time to get out of here.
We bid farewell to this big hole and the river that beat us up for the better part of 5 days, and without looking back, we beelined it back to civilization. And our hike, I would say it was relatively long, but by all recollection, uneventful. We made our final pass over the Forest Service Bridge, and just like that, day 5 was officially over. Reflecting on a trip like this is never an easy prospect. Even quite some time later, an hour spent churning through footage, I'm struggling to find the words to describe the feeling this kind of adventure leaves with you. But I'm gonna try. Expectations, they are a nasty byproduct of intense planning, and unfortunately, that's what it takes to make something like this happen. After months of calls, preparing for this trip, Sam and I stepped onto the trail with very high hopes. But like every adventure of this magnitude, each day brought a new flavor that shaped and molded our struggles into an epic fishing story that neither of us will ever forget. But to summarize with, oh, yeah, it was fun, or yeah, we had a great time, it's just not that simple. Many years ago, I adopted Steve Rinella's two-part classification of fun. There's type 1 and type 2. For those unaware, type 1 fun is quick and forgettable. Think of something like a roller coaster, or getting blackout drunk with your buddies, or really anything in society these days. Quick sex, quick food, quick drugs, quick entertainment. Sure, it's all fun, but it's very forgettable. Type 2 fun is a bit different. Type 2 involves enduring something long and arduous in order to reach an often unattainable goal. Physical and mental suffering are always themes throughout, and any trip like this, it will get etched into one's memory for life, and oftentimes when asked, it would take less than half a heartbeat to go back and do it all over again. This trip, this was type 2 fun. Bad luck with the weather, broken bones on the rocks, too cold, too hot, hunger all the time, falling trees snapping on the ridge, and bears way too close to camp, cuts, scrapes, blisters and bruises, enough blown hook sets to drive a man mad, and the cherry on top was close to 60 miles of true trail grind. Putting all that down on paper makes our adventure sound like a shit-filled suffer sandwich with an extra scoop of 9-inch nails, and in a lot of ways, it was. That's the point. Central Idaho isn't exactly the easiest place in the world to access. If it was, everyone would flood it like the traffic-choked roads of tourist traps like Yellowstone. Out here, it's still a rugged and unforgiving land that keeps a lot of folks out purely due to the true wilderness surrounding you at all times. The further back you go, the riskier each step gets. The trade-off is that systems stay relatively intact, and to say the fishing is good would be an understatement. And fishing would have been a whole lot better if that massive squall hadn't sucker punched us with a crazy mudslide. That impact to the entire river corridor was tangible, but that's just the way it goes sometimes. Does it suck? Yes, of course it sucks. What was once supposed to be a dedicated backcountry bull trout trip turned into a desperate any fish knife fight that took us on a wild goose chase up and down this system. Mediocre fishing here is still spectacular when stacked up to the majority of trout water in the lower 48. That's just a fact. But it forces both to get out of our comfort zone and utilize new techniques in order to find fish. After reviewing the footage, I would say Sam and I caught more than our fair share. Between sizable West Slope specimens and spunky steelhead smolt, our rods were bent more than enough to remain entertained. We even brought more than a few resident bulls to the hand, along with that mysterious rainbow that still haunts my memory today. And one of the more memorable parts of this trip might have been seeing all the salmon. Being witness to one of nature's greatest journeys was extremely humbling, especially when all the odds are stacked against them. Each fish in Grand Vista is a small but sturdy brick stacked neatly in a line and held together with the mortar of suffering. Each of these days added more bricks and more than enough mortar to hold it all together. Time, it's the best agent to smooth everything out and give the mind time to dry. Is a stack perfect? No, it never is. There will always be cracks in the brick and more than a few smears in the mortar, but as a whole, this wall of memories will stand firm in our minds for many years to come, and it's a point of real accomplishment, deep satisfaction, and just a pinch of pride because of all we went through and managed to accomplish. But I think that's more than enough to maybe describe how this trip feels. It's time to step off my soapbox and say thank you. First and foremost, thank you to anyone still watching at this point. Surviving through hours of listening to my dumbass talk is an accomplishment worth more than a pat on the back. But in all reality, you, the viewer, yes, I am talking to you directly, your support means more than you could ever know. This channel, it is growing at quite a wild clip, and it's because of awesome folks like you. And as this silly thing grows, it allows me to go out and do more adventures just like this. And if this happens to be your first time viewing the channel, well, number one, welcome, and number two, consider subscribing. I would love to have you along for the ride for all the adventures to come, because trust me, there are many more to come. Oh, and please don't be afraid to comment about this particular adventure. I'd really be interested to hear what you guys have to think. Okie doke. Next on the list of thank yous would be the folks on Patreon. You know who you are. I'm not kidding when I say your support helps this production happen. From new camera equipment to even things like freeze-dried food on the trail, every single dime gets reinvested into the operation in order to make a better product. And hopefully you can kind of see the progression here. So please don't feel pressured to join the Patreon if you aren't already, but if you're looking for a way to monetarily support the channel, that would probably be the best option. And piggybacking off of that, I would like to take this chance to also thank the presenting sponsors. Each and every one of these brands helped in their own way to make this trip happen. These brands, they don't pay me outright. I receive a small percentage of the sales using my affiliate codes or my affiliate links. And I say this because what little money is made on my end is not the reason I partner with these brands. I chose to work with each and every one of these small businesses because I trust their products wholeheartedly, and the people behind the brand are genuinely good people doing great things for anglers like you and me. So again, thank you. And last but certainly not least, if any of you out there are interested in this particular adventure, I always leave the sources I use to research linked below. So in the description, check it out. Google, it holds no secrets, especially when it comes to conservation groups and state agencies. They have a number of great resources. So feel free to check out the links in the description and get a better idea of how, where, and when this kind of trip happens. Or just DM me on Instagram. I'd be more than happy to talk shop. But I think that's more than enough. So folks, you know the deal. Wherever you find yourself, be it in the wilds of central Idaho or in your backyard, I sure hope you keep those feet in the water, and until next time, tight lines.